So it's this unplugging from the dualistic mind worksheet is from self mastery. So there's a self mastery program, um, and I just knew that this could be integrated in integrating the attributeless being into the human experience. So, unplugging from the dualistic mind, there's a bit of blurb about it, but the thing, what it's done is it shows you the drop down. So we are attributeless. That's conscious of being conscious, the ever present, ageless, timeless awareness. And there's a framework to show the drop down. So we're attributeless and we're present. If we close the eyes and notice the sense of existence at the back of the eyelids, that is no longer attributeless because now there's an attribute. There's now an attribute, and that attribute is a sense of existence, a sense of aliveness. So, attributeless being, if we say, just stop and notice sound or notice light or notice something, there's no sense perceptions, no feelings, no thoughts, nothing. It's just blank, empty. There's not even love there. There's no bliss. There's nothing. So the first drop down is when we can experience the sense of existence from closing the eyes and placing the attention gently behind the backs of the eyes. That's when we notice a sense of aliveness, a sense of existence. The whole game starts there. This is why within the sense of existence can be like I'll call it invitation of this is personal, I own this, and I thought, because the sense of existence, the pure sense of existence is I, consciousness, exist. I, existence, am. That is the pure I, consciousness. The only attribute is the knowing, the absolute knowing I exist. And it's a subtle vibration. So, because that sense of existence is I exist, if something arises with a sense of personhood, that this is personal, this thing, this thought, this feeling, this action is personal, that's why it feels, it's perceived as, because it's gone into the I existence am. And this is why David points to depersonalizing the language, just so that we can see that we are not that which arises. Because if we use I, it's not easy to see because the I has become corrupted. I existence am, I consciousness am, I presence am is existence. Anything that arises in that existence, if it says I am feeling, I am thinking, I am seeing, the I, even though the I cannot be corrupted, and there are not two I's, it's the sense I exist has got involved in the story. And that is why I exist as someone who's suffering. I exist as a person with a history. That's how that gets corrupted. It's really clear to see. So it's to know that we are the attributeless, timeless, ever present self with no sense of existence, just knowing that whatever, not just knowing. And then if we want to tap into the sense of existence, a portal is to close the eyes and notice the aliveness at the backs of the eyelids, and you will notice that that is a sense of existence. It's a sense of presence, consciousness, awareness. And that has no attributes other than the sense of existence. That's why from there we can say this is ageless, timeless, boundless, spacious. And when we affirm that from that place of I existence am, bliss arises effortlessly, and love, the bliss and love instantly arises. So the question is, can you function from there? That's the question. Can you function from there? Because when we rest there for long enough, wisdom kicks in. The wisdom body can kick in, and thoughts, feelings, everything can arise. But because the knowing of being the attributeless, timeless, pristine, unmarked, untouched being can sense existence, it's knowing that everything arises in that existence. It's knowing that directly, cannot be believed. So when thoughts arise, it's knowing that these thoughts they're not personal. Nobody owns them. And we don't have to identify, because we know that the feeling of them being personal arises in this ocean of existence. It's a feeling. The feeling of this is personal, it naturally arises. And if ever we get distracted or we pay attention to the sense of this being personal, we don't fight, we can stop, and we can ask the self-inquiry question from the attributeless being, is this personal? There you are. Does this have a past? You're out the game. So you bounce between attributeless being, bliss, and wisdom. And so any spiritual practice really is, we cannot practice to be who we are. It's not even a practice. I call it a rhythm. Let's create a new rhythm, a rhythm of love. Think of what you want only. Think of thinking. I always point out, thinking is not mental activity. Thinking is your omniscience. Thinking is perception, memory, imagination, intuition, reason, and divine will. That's how we think. I've separated it, but it's one thing. It's to make a decision. I, consciousness, am, will exist as happiness. So think of what you want only. What is happiness? Peace, joy, goodness. What is it? Whatever it is, it's not in the future, it's now. However, we can use the omniscience, we can use thinkingness um, to create happiness. You create it consciously. So you use perception. So you perceive a memory of happiness. Embrace that memory of happiness. Embrace the images of happiness. Happiness and appreciation. Intuition is always functioning. So when a low frequency arises or a low vibration, low thought, Intuition is just saying, do I want to go there? Thank you, no, thank you. It's a beautiful gift, the appreciation that can be shown for intuition, loving intuition, thanking the intuition of the omniscience. And I know it's not two things happening, but it's a bit like it's a bit like the purpose for devotee, master and servant. Master and servant are two forms that life takes so that love can be expressed. Because it's more greater to give love and then to receive it. And so to do that function, we assume two objects in the oneness, in the unified field, equal. The master is equal to the servant is equal to the master. Or the student, or whatever word we use. So we could not separate ourselves from intuition, but we could recognize intuition as part of omniscience and love it, be grateful for it, thankful that, wow, through intuition, low vibrations can arise, and the divine will is to say, thank you, no, thank you, to becoming personal, identified, and owning that thing, not to stop it from arising because love doesn't do that. And there you are walking in divine will. So, just to summarize, attributeless being is who we are. Then arises the sense of existence, which can be heard as I exist. The I that exists is the pure I. But it's to know that within that existence, everything arises: good, bad, right, wrong, left, right, happy, sad, everything, because it's a unified field. You are the totality. And everything that arises equally in that field, meaning the field is not unbalanced. It doesn't dip down low and go high. It's just one field. It's spacious, it's open, it's boundless, it's one ocean. Within that ocean are thought forms that arise. And we can create space around the thought forms, because thoughts, the way that thoughts function, they can function as a voice which comments, describes, measures, compares, and prefers, or and they function as pictures. So the only work really is to be the attributeless being, because you cannot be anything else, but recognize that you are that, and to notice that commenting arises effortlessly. It's what we see ourselves. So we look and say, a thought can appear, which can sound like a voice in the head, or it can sound like a voice from a master, or it doesn't matter where it's from. Did it take any effort to arise? That's the question. Did the commenting take any effort at all to arise? Recognize the answer. Does describing take any effort to arise? How easy is it to describe an object? Does that take any effort? It doesn't take no effort. It's effortless. How easy is it to measure? Did you struggle to come on Zoom? You're in Australia. Did you struggle to measure the time to come on Zoom? And then Does it take any effort for the functioning of comparing? Do you, or does that really take effort? Comparing is instant because of the functioning of like and dislike, right and wrong, which also, when looked at, take no effort. They don't take any effort because they're programs. It's programming. So if you really want to dissect thoughts, that's how to dissect them, to see that the thought takes no effort to arise, and how the thought functions takes no effort. So as you go about your day, if a thought arises, there's enough presence power around that thought. You've seen what that thought is made of. You don't really have the capacity to believe it now. It's believing them that causes pain, suffering. If a thought arises, you're not worthy, you will just look and say, wow, that arose effortlessly in this empty, open, spacious, conscious field of awareness. You've completely unplugged, you've disidentified, you're uncompromising, you're functioning from the attributeless, timeless being with a sense of existence, sense of aliveness, and you're functioning from love. Love keeps no record of wrong. Love doesn't fight thoughts, and it just doesn't identify. You're functioning from wisdom. Wisdom is uncompromisingly standing as your true nature, effortlessly, takes no effort. Because once that has been seen, that's it. There's no practicing. You've seen it now. You cannot unsee it. I think the thing that's astonishing is when we see trauma, we keep looking at that trauma. We keep going back and looking at it. Once we see it, we know. So what's the difference? Once you have seen that that commenting is impersonal, it doesn't belong to anybody, it doesn't have any power, it just arose effortlessly in the sense of existence. The sense of existence is predominant. Thought is not predominant. And then we can do that with feelings. We can explore feelings. And I think on the sheet I've gone through feelings. Conscious of the sense of feelings, because we were told that the feelings belong to us. We need to manage them. We need to control them. Let's have a look at that. So the feeling of wanting control, wanting to survive. If there's ever any doubt, you've got a long list of videos on self-inquiry. Go and listen to it. Does this need control? Can this be controlled? Self-inquiry dismantles the belief. So if those beliefs arise, I need control, due to your faithfulness, due to divine determination and self-respect, you will know that that thought, it could even have the same voice as what's coming from the body mind, but it won't draw you in because you've seen through it. You've seen through that consciousness is not a feeling. You've seen through that I, existence, am, is where everything arises. And you've seen that when the feeling arises, it arises in the field of existence, and it's impersonal, and it's nothing to do with I, existence, am. And so that is declining the invitation. When it's seen, you will just see it and know that it's nothing to do with us. It's just what's happening. But of course, we don't walk around aimlessly. I haven't sent over worksheet 6 because this one has got, I think it's 4 pages. It takes you right down to the trauma where we feel stuck, and then you just walk your way back up and see how that trauma was created. Because in reality, it's thoughts arise separately, and then if they are not seen that they are just arising, sometimes we are not sensitive enough to detect the thoughts. What happens next is the feelings, and most of us can detect the feelings, the feeling of stuckness, the feeling of resistance, the feeling of oh, I've had enough, the feeling of loneliness, whatever. We can detect those. Um, but what happens after the feeling comes the stronger emotion, because the thought and the feelings, they arise separately. They're independent bodies. The mental body fires thoughts, the etheric body fires feelings, and then the energy is created. Thoughts and feelings create energy. That energy in motion is called emotion. The emotion is then felt in the physical body. If the sensitivity, the awakeness, the aliveness has not been there to spot the thoughts and the feelings, but it catches the emotion, this is where the law of attraction says that like attracts like. So if there's an emotion of guilt, we haven't heard the guilty thoughts and we haven't identified them, we haven't seen them arising, we've just been functioning from unconsciousness. If the feeling hasn't been seen, then you will feel the emotion. If that's been missed, the body will feel pain. So that's how it manifests, from subtle to gross. Thought is subtle. Thought is like flour. Feeling is like water. What happens when flour and water come together? It creates a dense, yeah, there's the emotion. That's why we can feel the emotion, yeah. But if we haven't felt the emotion because we've been distracted in the world, or, taken away, had a glass of wine, had a spliff. If we haven't felt the emotion, then it will be picked up in the body. It'll be picked up in the body. Toothache, headache, tiredness, leg ache, backache, some kind of ache, or dis-ease. It usually hits the body. But if it hasn't, well, it does hit the body. It does hit the body. It's just really being alive to that, really being sensitive. If that is not seen, then it will fire out and hit the world, which can cause an accident or an action of violence, or, yeah, I don't know. Its list is long, and it takes over the body because it's as if it now is owned by the body. It has no regard for self-realization. It has no regard for conscious of being conscious. It is automatic. And that is why we call it the ego mind, and it is narcissistic. It's nothing to do with who you are. It's a program. And it's understanding that, it's seeing that thing is automatic. The thoughts, the flour and the water get mixed into dough in 0 point something something seconds. It creates the emotion. And so the Sedona method, when we talk about releasing, it's not that we are releasing piles and piles and piles of energy, but because the thing's automatic, it's an automatic thing. Thought, feeling, emotion. That's the wheel. Thought, feeling, emotion. Thought, feeling, and it just builds. And that's why we can say it's suppressed, or I keep expressing anger. I keep expressing this thing. Why do I keep talking? Why do I keep identifying? It's refeeding. So it's to jump off and stop and say, right, who is suffering? Who and what is suffering? Can this be sick? Can this suffer? Is there a past? You've got them, like I said, I think 9 videos you've got, and they're only short. Sit, be present with them. See, the questions are asked. Is there a past? Look, recognize that there's only the ever present moment. That dismantles, it weakens the tendency to pick up a thought that says that happened in the past. It weakens the tendency. The tendency doesn't belong to us, but it does arise because everything's created from that realm. The hell realm has its own creative process. It's not the creator, but that's how it maneuvers. That's the rhythm of it. Thought, feeling, emotion, thought, feeling, emotion. Negative thought, negative feeling creates negative emotion. Negative emotion lodged in the body super attracts something in direct alignment. There's the result. That's why lack keeps happening. Ill health keeps happening. It builds a sense of something's wrong with me. Then that someone, that something, that entity, that false self-image with something wrong now wants healing, still on the game, still recycling. It doesn't work. Jump off it. I understand that there are investments of loyalty. You know what it is like? It is like by having $1 million and coming onto planet Earth with $1 million, and you're told, ladies, invest your money here and you'll get a massive return, all the happiness that you ever wanted. And you innocently, they showed you adverts. They showed you billboards of people who were saying success, wealth, money, house, car, perfect partner, perfect body. And you said yes. So we handed over the authority, we handed over the $1 million. And then the piles and piles of misery. So you said, right, I want my money back. While you still got some energy. You said, I want my money back. And you read the terms and conditions. And you didn't sign up for that. It was hidden. It was written like really small print. You get the magnifying glass out and you read the terms and conditions and you see, oh my God, what have I signed up for? And have you ever subscribed to something or ever got a service and something's gone wrong and you want to speak to somebody, but there's nobody there? They keep sending you frequently asked questions. Have you ever had that? That's what happens. Frequently asked questions. You're like, those are not the questions. I've got a different question.
Not my question.
Those questions.
Not
yeah, and then they'll send you a robotic AI that will ask you the same questions. And say, well, what is your problem? And you type it in, and then they send you somewhere else. And you're like, oh God, no. That's what it's like. You can't get out.
That's exactly what it's like.
You can't get out because it's designed that we don't come out. It's a matrix. You're locked in. The minute that we have the sense, I existence am, I existence am, I consciousness am. We then bought the ticket from there because we were perfect, whole, complete, no trauma, no good, no bad. So we're like, well, we didn't think anything could go wrong. What can go wrong? You're the infinite being. So we entered into the game as the pristine, ever-present self. And within the sense of existence arose all of these programs, thoughts, feelings, and emotions. And because in the game, you're told you are an individual, this is your date of birth, this is your this is your ticket. This is your label. Yeah, this is your ticket. You're a separate person. And this is how you function. You need to survive. You need to be safe. You got to watch that you don't die. You got to watch what you're eating, watch what you're wearing, watch where you walk, watch that. But you're given a bag of fear, and you are told to manage that fear and still look worthy and still succeed. And if you don't, you've failed. You've lost the game. So we keep reinvesting in another strategy, in another program, in another partner. And then we realized it's not working. The energy's been depleted.
Yes.
That's the game. That's how we can play the game. We can play it like that, and it's always available. But we've decided that thank you, no thank you. We're just going to remain as who we are, ageless, timeless, infinite, impersonal, indestructible being, recognizing the sense of existence and knowing. So there's knowledge. Let's apply wisdom, and everything is understood. That which arises in the field of existence. It has nothing to do with the ageless, timeless, everlasting being. And we don't have to fight it. We can think of what we want only. What do you want? Well, I don't want anything, but I can be happiness and love. So be that. Happily and lovingly see that arises, and the gratitude of wow. It's like being homeless and sitting out in the rain and watching everybody else having an amazing time, and you're very lonely, and it's raining and it's cold and you've got no food, and the weather is freezing cold, and people are walking past and looking at you like you poor victim. It's having that state of consciousness. And then one day a Rolls Royce pulls up and says, oh, come home, you're our son, we've been looking for you for 40 years. And they embrace the son and bring him home. And for a little bit, he's going to have his street talk, and he's going to have his, he's going to be looking for a park bench in the palace because it's a samskara. But then over a short space of time, when he realizes, no, I'm not that homeless person. I am this. This is my origin. I really am royal blood. In a short space of time, he will be functioning as somebody who lives in a palace. The tendency to go and lie on the sofa rather than his bed will arise, the automatic tendency, and then he'll just remember and say, yeah, I've got a royal bed to lie in. So he doesn't have to fight the sofa because the sofa reminds him of lying on a park bench. He just remembers, oh, yeah, that arose effortlessly. Thank you, no thank you, and goes to his bed. And that's how you treat the game. Really easy, no practice. Just directly knowing that you are the existence, you are the attributeless self, and you can marinate the sense of timeless existence. The existence is bliss, happiness. It's got no desire and no lack. The sense of existence has no desire. You're not desiring to be happy. You're not desiring. And it's got no fear. It has no lack. It has nothing. It's very rich. It's abundant, the sense of existence. And just imagine walking through your day, and just for a second, you close your eyes and there you are. And then there comes a time you don't need to close your eyes because the sense of existence takes over the physical body, and you just isness, just dancing, bliss, 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 bliss. And wisdom. When things arise, you're not quick to jump in and try and fix, change, improve it. No, 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 no. You're too established in existing as bliss, existing as love. Mm. So it is a powerful rhythm to think of what you want only. And I usually point people to well-being to say, what do you love about your home? What do you love about relationships? What do you love? Think of that. What does it feel like to be loved? Oh, it feels amazing. Drink that, keep drinking that, eat that. That's your breakfast. Have your breakfast. Keep drinking it. Keep having it.
Anything we want is just it's for that feeling, isn't it, really?
Yeah. Yeah.
The feeling, to feel good, to feel happy, to feel peace.
Yeah. Yeah. And from the sense of existence, that's where it is. If you, yeah, that sense of existence. Because who you are, the timeless being, you're attributeless. And that is the place in which freedom happens. That's the place in which also bondage happens. It's the place in which good and bad, anything can happen in the attributeless, timeless being. Anything can happen. It's a blank canvas. It doesn't have any preferences. It's like the world. The world is space. Anything can happen in space. You can have a child being born. You can have in that same space within, I don't know, a mile, there can be a couple getting married, and then down the road there could be somebody taking their last breath. Anything can happen in space. Space doesn't have any preferences. It allows everything. So knowing that, you can notice that in the attributeless awareness is existence. And like I said, one portal is closing the eyes, noticing the backs of the eyelids, notice the sense of existence, that it's pure, it's clean, it takes no effort, none, there's no effort. It's blissful, it's delightful, it's peaceful, because there's no thoughts and feelings. It's just the sense of aliveness. And I've often encouraged self-inquiry from there. I think in a lot of the videos, I did guide to closing the eyes, noticing the sense of existence. Yeah, I did, didn't I? Yeah, maybe
I only listened to the first two.
Yeah.
So far, and they were both closing the eyes.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I think there may be one video where I guide you to the chest area or the core, I think. But yeah,
I think so. Yeah.
I think. But it's whatever, whatever resonates, what's more effortless. But it's to just see that who is suffering or what is suffering. And then the existence gets louder. And you say, wow, okay, so is there a past? And it's as if the existence and the aliveness gets louder, and you're like, oh, I don't even know how many questions you can ask before you fall over and like fall into bliss.
It doesn't take much.
No. And then the sense of existence, the isness, is predominant in existence. It's predominant. So why not? Why not take all that power of who you are, all that presence of who you are, and all that intelligence and place it on love? Why not do that? Why not do it?
Yeah.
Just do it. It's just that's why I said this thing is so easy. It's like just, what do you love? Oh my God. Oh God. And just be there. Oh, and just be there, marinate in it, marinate. And then you can effortlessly recognize the sense of existence, or you can drop that and say, wow, attributeless, timeless, ever present being. But then it's too late, because the sense of aliveness is buzzing and dancing and being really happy. But you're not clinging onto it. You didn't go looking for it. You are it. Julie's got a question. I can always tell when Julie's got a question. I can always tell.
Oh, I listened to David Bingham, the same one as the other day,
Yes.
just the end half. I like
Yes.
the time of just the end half.
Yes.
And I was looking out the window,
Mm.
and all of a sudden, just yeah, there's no words. I was looking out the window, and I was the everything. I was everything, but so that's been today that um, I don't. There was a thing I was watching a little bit of the conscious TV with David Bingham as well.
Yes.
And they were really engaged in and Colette has also said engaged in saying, well, there just is no person, there is no person, there is no person.
Mm.
Who's doing it? Who's doing this? And I, I don't even know. I don't even know what I was going to ask. Just because yeah, I'm sorry. I don't know what I was going to ask. I was because there was still a sense of a person,
Yes.
but
Yeah.
Mm.
but so I was like, I guess I was in the game, obviously, saying, well, the person hasn't gone, like, so you're not, like what David says sometimes, so you're not getting it properly because you're still identifying. However, I feel, or the feeling is that I'm having this integration thing happen. I can,
Yes. Yeah.
feel that. I can feel this all of a sudden. I'm looking out the window and it's like, oh, I am that or something, or it's just effortless awareness and unbelievable. And then it's still noticing. Yeah, I can't explain it. It's very difficult to explain,
It's
but I'm sure
understood that.
you know what
Yeah.
I'm talking about.
So the sense of existence is consciousness knowing existence, knowing that presence, knowing presence, because presence is power. There's power in presence. So it's knowing existence, awareness, being aware of itself is presence, knowing its presence. And just by being that is a sense of existence. And
It's everywhere. It's
it's
everywhere.
it's everything and everywhere. So that's the sense of
Everything
existence. Everything is
and
existing. So the sense, consciousness is existence. Within
yeah.
the field, existence is unified. It has no upper limits, lower limits. There's no good, no bad. However, good is a vibration, bad is a vibration, and it arises in existence. And by depersonalizing the language, just to see that. So there is an impersonal, ageless, timeless, boundless, ever present, everlasting, eternal awareness, being its true nature, being existence, being aware of the arising of thought form.
Yes.
That's it. That's it. Disconnected from, I am a person. I am a person is a thought, the I thought. And that's why when we depersonalize, when we stop saying I, just so that we can see that you are existent, you're not anything that arises. When
okay, yes. All right. Yes. Sorry, yes. Yeah. Yes.
you've just seen it, yeah? Yeah, you have
Yeah.
to see it. So
Good.
I'll point to the light bulb. You see the light.
Yeah. It's this integration thing. I know it's
Yeah.
this integration thing.
Yes, yes. Integration. So there are two ways that we can see integration. The most common way, the place where most people tend to integrate is from being a person or from the idea, the false self-image. I am a person, I'm separate, and I need to be better. So let me have a look at these feelings and let me see what therapy I can do. And it's all valid, nothing wrong. Now let me have a look at the thoughts. Oh God, I'm holding limiting beliefs around A, B, C, D. And then they work out a way to let go of them. And then there's a sense of freedom, but that freedom comes and goes because it's personal freedom. It's a person being free, protecting their energy. And that game can go on for lifetime in, lifetime out because it's never ending.
Yes,
It's
there's
the,
awareness.
yes.
Been playing
However,
it.
yes, yes, when you stand in your truth, when you stand as that, which never really played that role, but that role can be experienced. When you recognize that you are the attributeless, timeless, ever present, boundless being, and there's a knowing of existence, there's a knowing of existence. The first thing to arise then is a sense of existence. So it's to determine the difference between knowing. How do you know? You're here. Doesn't take any effort. Then arises the sense perception of existence. Perception is part of intelligence. That's why you get deliveries from intelligence and love and intelligence and fear. It's based on perception.
Yeah.
The sense perception, which is impersonal. If it is, if there's been a delivery or the arising of fear, that perception goes from being the lens of perception to a perceiver perceiving. There's the separation. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So it's just knowing, because that game can go quite deep. You can go right to the bottom of the ocean and go into a rabbit hole. And by then you've spent your £1,000,000 that you had, that you've come to invest.
Yeah.
And there is no return. And then you'll read the terms and conditions and see that no, there's no return. So, so
the question. The questions that isn't yours.
So just recognizing, just knowing, you know that you exist. You know that you know. You can't not
Yeah.
know. You can't not know. And it's that, it's recognizing that oh, yeah. You can start with the sense of existence. It is a step down, but you can start with that so that you can experience your true self as being neutral and alive, the aliveness. Mm. But it is far easier to point to the light bulb of attributeless being with the hope that you will see that the light is everywhere. It doesn't come from the light bulb. The light bulb was a portal, a pointing. You see that, oh, awareness, existence, consciousness is timeless. It's ever present. It's boundless. Oh, it's like realizing that, recognizing it and realizing it. And the more that we recognize and realize it, the more sense of existence gets bigger, the sense of aliveness gets bigger. It doesn't get bigger, but it becomes predominant, the foreground. And functioning in the world, or integrating that. That's the integrate that into the human. Integrate that into the body, mind, Julie. Yeah. Integrate that. Because the body, mind, Julie, nothing exists apart from existence. So when you hear that the person doesn't exist, it doesn't help if you haven't understood how the sense of a person was created. When you see how it was created, then you will know it doesn't exist.
Yeah.
And it's also useful to, when you hear that, where is it coming from? Because there are parrot teachings where there is no real clarity on there not being a person. And there are deep teachings where it's been seen through clearly. So when David talks, the heart can be fully open, knowing that he has actually demonstrated that. He's not a parrot teacher. Well, parrots are not teachers. They're just repeating. They probably had a glimpse and, oh, let me go and teach it. That's parrot teaching. It's not embodied. It's not grounded.
Yeah, there's no need for this body mind to go any further than yourself, David, Rupert. You listen to a few John Wheelers or something, but nothing further than Muji. There's no interest in.
Yeah, because it's the transmission. There's transmission. It's the body minds that have had the grace, really, because it is grace to have this game laid out. Like, there's grace that says this is how it's played, and then it's like, oh God. And then it automatically gets integrated so that the body mind can just be open for the transmission energy to come through with that teaching. And then it does transmit. It's a morphogenic field.
Yes.
Yeah, it transmits. It's like a transmitting and receiving.
I feel it on these calls.
Yeah.
Or there's an awareness of that.
Yes. But there's always an awareness of peace. And so, serenity. It's just so peaceful.
Yes.
It's been transmitted here. It's been received here. Not from a person or a thing, but from the conscious field, which you are. You are the conscious field. The body mind appears effortlessly. The body mind Julie appears effortlessly. The body mind Jazz appears effortlessly. The body mind Amanda appears effortlessly. And when we see that, then it does. Is it taking effort for the body mind Julie or Jazz or Amanda to be here? Is it taking any effort? Is there any efforting? No. It's here effortlessly. Does it need to be controlled? Does it need to be condemned? Does it need to learn anything? Is there any neediness? Go to self-inquiry. You've got the tool. Use your tools. Is there anything that's needed? Is anything lacking? And that's how you're integrating. Integrating happens automatically. There's no one integrating.
Yes.
And it's knowing that, like I said, the worksheets, I have started, I think I'm on my third video that I'm going to upload and again send all of you a PDF with the video links on where you can, I've just titled them constructs of concepts. It's worth knowing the constructs of concepts. It's worth knowing that thought form are constructs. So in the videos, they are separated, what they are. And then there's a awareness of being aware of that thought form arises equally and effortlessly. It's an impersonal thought form. It's owned by no one. So when we've done that to thought form, it is like a cake. It is like a cake. You take the ingredients and you separate the ingredients and you look at them and you say, flour, eggs, milk, butter, cocoa, cake. Oh, because the cake is the manifested, which is the emotion. And if you don't want that cake, it's already been created, you can sit with the energy of it and allow it to dissolve rather than be projected out and cause pain to the world or to yourself. So there is that way. And these are just going to be, I'll keep the videos as short as possible and line them up so you've got them in their correct categories. And you just pick a tool, integration tool, and they're all effortless. Whatever resonates, pick it, use it. Integrate love. That's what you've come here to do. You've come here to realize who you are, rest in that effortless field of existence, and integrate love. You already are love, but we've been integrating on love. And so it may have to play out, but we can stop the grief, the anger, the fear, not resist it, but identify it through honesty and say, yeah, and lovingly allow it to bubble and pop out. See, everything's valid. Everything is valid, that you are the existence. You cannot not be the existence. It's impossible. But it is understanding how we create or how creation happens. Thought, feeling creates the emotion. The emotion is governed by the law of attraction. That is a real law. That emotion will attract a circumstance, event, or another body mind, which is in direct conflict or alignment, because you have to identify that there's a law of polarity and there's a law of oneness. So all of these laws really, they work. Of course they work. That's the natural way that these things function. They have a natural way of functioning. And it's to notice that the energetic field. So if there's thoughts of happiness and love, automatically feelings are going to come. Automatically the energy of love. What's going to happen? What do you think is going to happen? More and more and more happiness and love. Happiness and love. But you're taking it from yourself. You're not taking it from the world.
And you can project it out.
If you want to go into the astral body, yes. Or you can just rest with it and let it just naturally come out. It's to use all the koshas naturally. It's to function all of the koshas. So with the astral body, of course, you can project healing. You can project love. It doesn't do any harm. It's using the astral body to project love. It becomes a servant of love anyway. It naturally projects. You're not doing it. It naturally projects. All you do is rest as effortless being. Rest as the timeless, ageless being. Recognize existence and recognize love. That's it. That's all you do. And then just toddle along through the day. You're creating thoughts. They're called thoughts. They're not thoughts in the mental body will start to align with that. It will be They may still be I thoughts. They may still be, oh, I'm feeling good. I'm feeling, just leave them. Don't touch them. Just know that they are arising in the sense of existence. You just be who and what you are. Attributeless, nothing on you. No thoughts, no feelings. Allow them to naturally function, because they do. But those are the thoughts that will start to dance in the field. Happy thoughts, thoughts of wellness, of goodness, of greater good. Just let them be there, as you did with thoughts that wasn't doing that. You just become unidentified. But as you function, as you recognize who you are, as you recognize that you are the timeless being, and the sense of existence is aliveness and bliss, and you're resting there, you're literally resting there, then naturally thoughts in alignment with that energy start to create. And then they attach to feelings. And that's why you get bursts of bliss throughout the day. You can just start laughing or just fall, the feeling of love and freedom. And then the emotion gets created, and then the game outside changes. You change the world for you, because all we see out there is our consciousness anyway. That's all that we see. Makes sense?
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you, ladies.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
So good.